Yeah, I mean, it's just another one of these things. I guess, these guys are governing delegates have to kind of, they got to talk about it. Just like now they're discussing the legitimacy of cryptocurrency, right?
Yeah.
It seems like half of them are split. Like half still think this is a terrorist tool. This is
really you picked that up from the
dude. They legitimately said it out loud. It's like
really
like half totally like this is evidence that crypto needs to be either abolished or regulated to death.
I guess I have selective hearing because from what I understood, the general understanding is like crypto is something that we need to be a part of.
That was the other half. Yeah, there's another half of this group of individuals.
Yeah.
American thought leaders, I guess, appointed that. Yeah, they supported that sentiment. It's like, listen, we can't fall behind on this technology no matter what. Yeah. And like this is a perfect example of centralization making things run amok, not decentralization. Decentralization is what allows us now to peer into the actual publicly accessible ledger books and see what actually happened.
Yeah.
Like without that, if this was like a purely only centralized organization, it'd probably be way more difficult to investigate because like everything would be hidden and yada yada yada. Yeah. Right? We'd have to go knock on the doors of all these international bankers from like these obscure islands and stuff like that. They're not gonna tell you dick.
Yep.
It's impossible. But because of blockchain and Web3 and all this shit, like you have trails that are
you can follow.
and get something from that, right? So, and then identify potential other actors involved and stuff like that. So
I remember one of the questions that they were asking themselves. It was a congressman asking the question to their peers. It's like, why are crypto companies opening up their businesses outside of the U.S.? And I feel like that is a legitimate question that they need to answer to themselves. So that companies who decide to make a crypto project open up in the U.S.
I think it's this fear of like, United States regulation, like government, like.
But what is it? Is it the cost of regulation or is it the fear of looking at everything that you're doing? Like what is a dominant like fear there?
Well, I mean, let's be honest. The majority
is cost.
I think, in all honesty, though, a lot of these crypto companies, founding organizations, they don't have longevity in mind. A lot of them are just capitalists, like trying to seize like momentum.
They're capitalizing on the situation.
Yeah, so like they're not actually here to try and build like sustainable businesses or anything like that. They're trying to launch tokens, dump them on retail euphoric moments and stuff like that. So these are the things that the American regulatory agencies would look at and like punish the hell out of you for doing, right? So
as they should,
and they're anticipating at some point this all of that's going to stop, right? So we don't want to be around once the government figures out how to like identify these people.
Yeah,
right?
I mean, the predominant sentiment of crypto is bad.
Yeah, well,
that's what dominates like just the general population. That crypto is essentially a scam, and when you look at all the crypto projects, it is a scam.
A lot of them, for sure.
Yeah,
like we saw it from the 2017 ICO boom. 97%, I think, like don't exist.
Not only
they all rugged.
Yeah, all Uniswap.
Yeah, same
tokens,
thing. 97%.
So I think it was higher. It was like 99% or something like that.
That's unbelievable.
Yeah,
but it makes sense because remember during the peak, we were like looking at Uniswap to try and like, as a strategy as content creators, like we got to find the new projects and like sift through them to try and find the gems, right?
Yeah.
Every day there was like 40 or 50 new ones.
Easy.
Like just new tokens being minted out of thin air through Uniswap. We're like, holy ass, dude, we can't keep up with this.
Yeah, someone created a bot for Telegram that logged all the new tokens connected to Uniswap.
Yeah.
And it was just like constant barrage of like noise.
Exactly. And like somehow during these peak euphoric times, like, people gave them credibility, at least like benefit of the doubt. Like, there one of these might actually, be a unicorn. So like, let's give them all.
Yeah, but it would be like winning the lottery.
That reminds me of another thing in their will that you were bringing up yesterday about there not being any real products like for the masses.
That was another criticism that happened. Yeah.
What was the actual like verbatim like?
I would have to find it, but he was saying, you know, he said that we've spent 14 years, you know, developing this technology called blockchain. And in those 14 years, we've seen nothing but Ponzi's and scams.
Nothing but, eh?
For the most part. For the
most part, yes. You can't disagree with that.
Yeah.
We just said 99% of tokens basically they've been abandoned.
But
right?
The criticism wasn't on crypto. It was actually on Congress for not providing clear regulations so that you can sift out the trash and then actually see some legitimate projects trying to leverage this new technology.
Yeah.
And so that was the criticism. It wasn't against crypto. It was against Congress not providing clear regulations, which they have not.
Yeah, but that's also criticism on I guess, like the ethos or, I don't know, the talent pool, I guess, like to develop. But that's the thing.
That's more an indictment on human psychology. It's like we get a new technology. The first thing we do is try to scam everybody. Like that's what humans do to each other.
But I don't think that's how it's actually happening. I think that, like, during times like this, the people building in this space are not trying to scam a single soul.
Well,
agreed. Right? That's how things like DeFi and like NFTs, new actual real innovations that have real disruptive potential come about.
But the majority of the use of blockchain is to scam.
I understand, but you can't just disregard. Even though there's a pool of 99% of trash, that 1% can change.
I know,
the
but
world.
what I'm talking about is when you introduce a new technology to humanity.
Yes.
99% of humanity uses it to scam people.
Yes.
That is by evidence of what we're seeing with blockchain.
The same thing happened to the internet.
For sure.
99% of those early .com
But you understand my comment
iterations
is on the human.
Yes. Yeah, oh, of course.
Right.
It's easy to scam people when people don't understand what's going on, dude.
Well, people see dollar signs.
Yeah.
It's really easy to convince people like there's some kind of value present when everybody else is like making money at the same time. And it's just FOMO is injected into this whole thing.
Yeah.
It's scam central, dude. That's literally the bull market.
Yeah.
And we always know that,
but
right?
Yeah, it's just the commentary of just the thought that you introduce any new technologies, like 99% will use it for scamming. It's just an interesting thing, an interesting discovery about humanity.
It is. But then you kind of like zoom out beyond that, and then you start to see the transformative elements of it. So it's kind of like you can't really attack. I mean, you could use that as leverage to kind of like, okay, now we need to bring in more regulation to kind of like, clean things up.
Yeah.
And to actually identify what are the actual real technical innovations and stuff like that. I'm all for that. That's fine.
Yeah.
Right. And it's going to make things more difficult for people like you and I.
Yeah.
Who are trying to bootstrap our way into this world.
Yeah.
Right. It's tough. If you're like some kid out of college, you're a fucking expert developer.
Yeah.
Self-taught, whatever. But shit, man, how am I going to convince anyone to give me $50,000 or whatever to get like an SEC approval?
Yeah.
I got to hire a fucking lawyer and all that shit. It's not happening. So I'm just going to have to sit there,
not do anything in that space.
Yeah, it's gonna result in a much, but it's okay, I guess, in the grand scheme of things. So it makes the public, I guess, safer.
Yeah.
To not get fucked over as much as they are in these crypto scams.
Yeah, a lot of things need to change because the current regulatory guidelines, they don't work.
Yeah.
Like the accredited investor thing. We've had numerous conversations about being an accredited investor, and like you can be an intelligent investor and not have $1 million, and you should be allowed to invest in projects or companies.
Yeah.
And that doesn't exist yet. And so we live in an age where we have such a quick access to information, quality information, that any one of us, we don't need a college degree to become a programmer or an accredited investor, a savvy investor.
Absolutely not. No, you don't.
And so I think regulations need to change to reflect that age, right? That age of time that we're in.
True.
So I don't know. I don't know. I have very little confidence that these graybeards are going to be able to achieve what I'm talking about.
I think over time they will, of course. That
over time, yeah, man, it's like 50 years
potentially.
You transition, like the Zoomers are now in Congress.
I don't know, dude. Some of those people talking in the hearing, they really seem to get it.
That's true.
Some, yeah.
That's true.
We're getting closer then.